Hey, everybody! I'm Kim, and I'm here with Havic, a hip hop. A hip hop choreographer, correct? Is that how you would describe all your
Yes,
classes?
not choreographer, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, and you've
I
had
do it all. I can do it all.
you. I love it. I love it so much. When did you start dancing? When did you start?
Like dancing as a kid or like professionally dancing.
Both. So we'll start with as a kid. Like, did you take dance classes as a kid?
As a kid, no, I didn't take any dance classes. At the time, we just had like videotape.
Uh huh.
um, I was in a group called Storm, and I remember we always practiced in the park. From San Diego, so there was always like a little tourist area part where it's grass and people walk by us. So we always like rehearse right in front of the tourists. So that was like a practice type of thing in front of people.
That's really
Um,
cool. What age was that at? Like roughly.
like I would say maybe 12, 13.
And so, how did you get into that team? Like, did you just audition or walk by?
Just had my best friends. We're all like homies from the neighborhood, and that's when like breaking was going up. The start of it.
Mhm.
Break dancing, b-boying, house, all that came into play. So we just got interested in it because hip hop was our thing. We were hip hop heads. So we just wanted to be part of it. So we just started dancing,
That's really
practicing every day.
So it's just like a group of kids who are like, I love hip hop, and you guys just like total underground how
Yeah,
dancing originally started, which is amazing.
we were like the first like dance group. You know what I'm saying? Like first that like we battle other group crews and stuff. Like ABDC, they had the dance crews. We were like one of the first dance crews back in the day, in the 90s,
I love it.
early 90s, actually, or early 90s, my age.
That's really cool. So you did that through like high school?
Yes, through high school. We did a lot of dance competitions and beat everybody. And then we also, after high school, we started going to like I don't say bars, but they had dance contests at these bars, and we always just go to compete. And we got better and better and started meeting all different crews from all over the city. And then we just kind of rose to the top.
That's really cool. And then did you think at that time you wanted to be a dancer or you weren't sure?
At that time, yes, I did want to become a dancer professionally, but my mother, my parents, our parents are, you're not going to do anything with dance. I don't know why you're wasting your time. So it was one of those things. I went to college,
For
like
dance or for something completely different?
something completely different. It was for my mom. So I went to this trade school called, I forgot the name, but I was going to become like what you call that? What's it called? A lawyer's assistant, uh,
Oh, a lawyer's assistant. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
paralegal.
about. Yeah, yeah, paralegal.
Yeah, paralegal. So I went there for about almost a year. And then I was like, this is not what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
So I just picked up and just left and went to LA.
That's great. That's so cool. So at least you know how to read contracts whenever you sign any.
For the most part, but now I have someone else doing that because I'm more of I like to be the artist.
Of course, and you've been doing this for so long that you definitely, have earned the ranks to have people help you out, so you don't have to do all that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's easier because it makes me like I can think more as far as what I want to do or dance, music, all the other stuff. It's like I don't understand it, so I just hand it over to like either my agency or my assistant, and then they handle it for me.
That's really cool. So when did you get an agent then in Los Angeles, and was that easy or hard for you?
Actually, it was man, I would say it was pretty easy because at the time, um, when I came out here, that era, there wasn't really a lot of like, let me see, like straight hip hop dancers. I could
Mhm.
say that. It was all jazz, street jazz type of stuff. So there's a lot of like technical dancers that were booking jobs.
Mhm.
But at the time, hip hop was starting to like like grow and become big and stuff. So um, my group and I went to this one audition for it's called Bobby Ball, and we were the only hip hop dancers there auditioning. Everybody else was all technical.
Was it nervous? Like I can't imagine like going into an audition where it's like most people are doing all one style and then you're doing something completely different. There's like got to be a part of you that's like, oh, this is awesome, but then like, oh, are we doing the right thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how it was. But actually, it was great because that's what they wanted. Um, we had to learn a jazz combo. That was the worst. But
I love it. I love when people have to do another style just to like get through something and they're like, it is
yeah,
terrifying.
yeah. But I mean, we did it. We got signed. Actually, we they wanted to see us freestyle, so we freestyled, and then we had like a whole little like bit that we did, like partnering stuff for flips and stuff, and it was all wow, exciting. You guys could stay. So it was one of those type of things.
Mhm. Do you still dance with any of the people in your original crew ever?
No, no, not
I
anymore.
mean, yeah, it's been so much time. Yeah, that's totally fair.
It's like one of those like you know how Instinct they had like Justin Timberlake like busted out did his thing. It was kind of like that. Like I was in the group, and then I was the only one that kind of like booked things, and so my career took off from there. So I had to leave the group. I
Yep.
was kind of in the group, but I also was on my own because I was getting a lot of opportunities which they weren't getting.
Mhm. So what was like your first big gig?
Um,
Solo gig without the crew?
First solo gig was in Vegas. I booked a job with this other dancer. He used to dance for Madonna. His name is Oliver Crooms.
Mhm.
He's like one of my mentors. He helped me get to pretty much where I am now because he schooled me in a lot of things, and I watched. I took notes, and I was taking his class actually in LA, and he had like the hottest hip hop dance class. So I was taking his class, and then I became his assistant in class.
And
And
I
then
think this is really good for people to hear because I feel like so many dancers start out like this, where they're taking somebody's class, they go in on time, they're always showing how hardworking they are. They may not be the best, most talented kid in the class, but the teacher recognizes, how hard people work, and then
right,
they get opportunities from being good in class.
yeah, I was hungry. You could say I was hungry, and he felt that. So he's like, you know what, come aboard my team. So on that note, I was assisting him, and then there was this lady that came in, and she was doing a show in Vegas called Splash.
Mhm.
It was like a variety show, but they specialized in like a lot of like hip hop, I guess. But it was like locking, b-boy stuff, the old school type of hip hop.
Mhm.
Um, so she liked what we did, so she said, "Hey, can you two come to Vegas and do that on stage on at the show?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, why not?" So I was only there for about a year, and I learned a lot of things, how
But
to.
a year gig straight out of the gate is amazing
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
dancer.
yeah, yeah. I had to learn everything by experience.
That's good though. That's so good. So then you did that for a year, and then when did you start? Because you got into like I would say like famous pop or rappers. You became a backup dancer for a lot of famous people.
Yeah, yeah.
When did that like flip over into that from Vegas to?
Um, well, while I was in Vegas, the choreographers for Michael Jackson were watching the show, and at the time they were also choreographing for Donna Ross.
Mhm.
So they needed somebody else, another guy to fill one of their spots. So they came to me backstage and said, "Hey, you know what? There's this opening for Donna Ross. Would you be interested in coming back to LA and being on tour?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I booked it out of there, drove like 3 or 4 times and packed all my stuff in my little car back to LA. And then I guess the rest is history. After that, I started just booking, because I was that guy. I was that dancer, I guess.
Which is cool. So you were never like a dance studio kid. Like you got your career straight from the street into
I
dance.
was, yeah, a street club battle dancer, let's say. I had to learn how to do choreography in actual, like, I took classes, like, honestly, jazz classes, but yeah, jazz classes, street jazz. And I had to learn how to like count the steps because I was used to just feeling.
Mhm.
So I had to learn like all the technical terms, plie, you know.
Yeah,
So,
Savion was my tap teacher growing up, and like had to learn how to count tap because I was so used to like ga 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 your turn,
yeah,
and I'd be like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so it's
Boom, ka, ka, ka.
yeah, it's different how people the way that their vocabulary is with dance is always different based on how they learned it.
Yes, exactly.
And then I think like booking jobs outside of it is about like being able to understand what people are trying to communicate to you. I think you need both. Like you need to
Yes, you
know how
do.
to count, but you also need to know how to do the feeling and the you know, because you don't know what choreographer is going to be in that audition, right?
Exactly.
And you don't know
And,
how they operate.
yeah, and at the time, I was good at picking up steps. I was like a sponge. So that's why I booked a lot because I knew how to count, I knew how to feel it, I knew what the choreographer wanted me to do. So because I took notes, I always whenever I went to audition, I always looked at the best dancer, stood right behind them. Oh, good. Okay, they did this and they did this. Okay, I'm gonna do that next time. So from that, I just built my career because I was so good at. I was a quick study. I could rehearse for an hour and do a show the next time. That's how it was.
That's so smart for people though who are coming into the industry to think about like taking notes. Like, don't just be mad at the kid who's better than you. Look at them and be like, what are they doing that makes me feel like they're better than me? And what
Mhm.
do I need to do to rise to that level?
Yes, exactly. You always got to take notes. Take notes. Yeah, I'm still taking notes. To this day, I'm still taking notes how to be better, how to make my business better, how to teach better, how to anything.
And it's changing. It's forever. Like you've been in this industry for such a long time. It's definitely taken so many turns, right? Like now
Yes.
there's Instagram, TikTok, like all of those things didn't matter back in the day. It was just
Uh,
like a headshot that was black and white. and then you
a headshot and a resume.
and then you just came in and they were like number 4, 5, and 8, you stay, the rest of you have a great
Thank you.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
And I was after a while, I was that kid. Everybody hated me because a lot of the guys, oh, here comes Havoc. Oh, he's gonna book everything. So it's like it's funny at the end of the audition, I'll be teaching the kids the dance because I know it the best. I'll be in a corner and hey, can you teach me? And then I'm teaching, and then by the time I turn around, there's like 5 or 6 of them behind me. I'm like, oh, okay, I must be doing something right. You know,
that that's so nice too, because it means that like even though you were the first to pick it up, you weren't like, I'm not showing you how to do this. I'm booking
oh,
this job
yeah.
for me.
No,
But
no, no. I always like to help people, especially with dance because it's what I love to do. And I love to teach, so that I was always just a teacher too.
and then when you booked these like big gigs in the beginning, did your mom then start being like, okay, you can be a dancer? Like, was there ever a flip when she was like, oh, you're dancing for my favorite singer? Congratulate! Like now I'm on board.
Yeah, yeah. Finally, when she saw me on TV doing a lot of award shows and the whole when I did a video for Michael Jackson, she was like, "Oh, that's my son. See, this is him." And she always showed everybody whenever I came to her work. She's like, "This is my son. He lives in Hollywood and he's this and that." I'm
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
Michael Jackson
oh."
is probably like the best to be like, hey mom, look at who this is good now, right? We're cool.
Yeah. Now she came around just because she saw me on TV. But
I was dancing for a famous person, and my mom called me and she was like, "You need to dance bigger." And I just remember being like, "Mom, you're not the choreographer.
being a
I
dance,
love you so much, but they want us to dance because there are some singers that want you to dance smaller than the singer so that they look good, right? There are
exactly.
certain, and maybe it's not this way anymore, but I'm talking like early 2000s, late 90s. It was like you had to be a little bit shorter than the singer so they looked tall and skinny. Like there was like all these like little math things that people don't realize that happen
Yeah,
around
you're
certain.
absolutely correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
And then I remember they wanted us to dance like smaller so that the lead looked like huge. And my
Mhm.
mom was like, "You need to show them." And I was like, "Mom, I want to keep my job." Like, it's
Right,
a job. It's very fun to watch parents get involved with dance to me because they're so passionate. They want their kid to be amazing, but
right.
they forget that like there's other avenues and like it's
Mhm.
still a job. You just have to do what you're told. It's a job.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So then when did you start? Because you're a teacher as well at the Edge, correct?
Yes, exactly.
When did you get into that? Because you also even teach like their programs for kids who are aspiring to be professional dancers.
Um, that's I started in, I want to say 96. I've been with SU for a long time. It's when I was with my group Storm,
Mhm.
because after I came out here, they kind of followed me, and then they started booking little things here and there. But then we got hired to teach at the Edge as a team, at Storm.
What is that like to be a team teaching thing? I feel like that would be really difficult to like think of the choreography together or to like express it properly. And as a student in a class, I think I would be like, who am I following? Like,
Right.
how does this work?
That happened a couple of times. Yeah, well, there's actually three of us. There used to be five, but then the other three came out here, and then we just hooked up, linked up, and just started teaching at the Edge. But we always have like a section. Okay, you teach that section, I'll teach this section, and you teach that section.
Oh, so it was organized. So that's good.
We tried to make it organized. Yeah, if we didn't like something, like don't do that. That's our
And now you teach like the scholarships that come in too, right? And at the Edge. And
yeah.
I've literally seen you get people jobs, which is so nice to see where you see like a new fresh kid coming to LA who is either just in your class or is a part of the Edge scholarship. I think it's called the scholarship program. I honestly don't know what it's called. They come in and they're taking like their full program, and you get these kids jobs that they've never had before. Which is so nice to see that like somebody is still like you're basically paying it forward from what you got. There was
Yeah,
someone who recognized you, and
yeah.
then yeah,
The Edge Pack, I guess, right? It's called Edge Pack.
okay,
Edge
edge pop.
Performing Arts Center.
Yeah. And so what do you look for somebody when you're like trying to? Do you just wait for there to be a project where you're like, oh, I have this project, I need to fill it with this archetype, or do you just look at somebody and you're like, eventually I'm going to get that kid a job?
Yeah, I look at someone and I see the potential and I see how hungry they are. It reminds me of myself, and then that's when I'm like, hey, you want to come assist me, or you want to come? I have this job opening coming up, and yeah, that's what I do. I just see talent, passion. I just see people that it reminds me of myself, and I just bring them in and try to help them further their career because I have that, a platform to help them. So, why not?
So we're talking like a 30-year span of teaching at the Edge ish, rough 25 years maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think that the evolution of the type of dancers has changed? Like do the kids that come in, do they behave as good as they did in the 90s, or are they a little bit more on their phones? Like would you say that it's more hungry now, less hungry now? Like what would you say is the biggest difference between students from the 90s versus students now?
Um, how can I put this? Mm, like I said, I guess the students in the '90s, we didn't have all this,
Mhm.
and we didn't have Instagram or YouTube or all that. Um, they're hungrier than the kids are that are now because um, they had respect. How I say it like that.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is also like because of YouTube, Instagram, like when you started your B-boy group, you guys didn't have anything to look up to. You didn't have any fame. There was no other Instagram that you were trying to get so many followers. Whereas now
Right,
kids are coming in because they want more followers, not because they want to work really hard and get to the place that you got to. And
exactly.
that's probably
Yeah,
the
you just said it. That was it.
That's the biggest difference. I do find like for me the evolution of like phones and videotaping in class. At first, I was really apprehensive about it because I'd be like, I don't want to be on this random person's page. Like, I don't know you, and
Right.
like, what if I mess up or like all of that. And then I got into like, oh, maybe I will videotape myself to like see where I can, because there is like such a great tool in that to see what you can do better. You know what I mean?
Of
Like you
course.
can always try to strive for more in dance, even if you like. I again am not trying to be a professional dancer anymore. I did it, I'm having a great time just doing podcasts, but I still love taking classes. Like I take your class all the time.
Yeah, no,
uh
you're dope. You're
yes,
yes.
one of my favorite classes that you did, your style of hip hop I love because it brings in like the new like whoa or floss or whatever is, obviously those are a little dated now, but like those kinds of steps, but also like the Running Man and like old school hip hop, which is more my jam because I'm from that generation.
What?
and then you had an assistant one time who was a newer assistant, and I think you had the Running Man in it, and he was like, "Do you want me to show you how to do this?" And I was like, "No, like, I love you for telling me that, but I got this." Like, I definitely like knew these people, and he was just like, "I had to learn it from YouTube," and I love like hearing kids learn stuff like that. I think it's so cool that they're learning all of these new styles. Okay, so I have 5 questions that I ask everybody,
Okay.
and you can answer them any way you want. There's no right or wrong answer. The first question is, who's your favorite singer to move to? And I know that this probably changes, but currently,
Like over the years or
like if you had to choose to choreograph to somebody today and like just jam on your own, not necessarily teach a class, who would you pick to like rock out to?
someone new.
Well, they can be old. It's just whoever you like to listen to.
Or is hip hop? I
Mhm.
mean, I like Drake. Drake is I like his music. He has like a lot of good beats. Um, I want to go back to those like Jay-Z,
I love them all. Yeah, that sounds great.
like Biggie, back those type of music, like that beat, those beats that they
Like
had.
hard hitting eights.
Yes, yeah, I like hard hitting beats.
Cool.
Um,
What's your favorite music video of all time?
Favorite music video of all time?
Yeah, to have watched. You don't have to have been in it, but if you're in it, that's cool too. I know some people are like,
Um, I mean, yeah, I want to say Michael Jackson's Ghost. I was in that, and
which
back then
one?
I love Thriller. Huh?
Ghost or Thriller?
It's called Ghost.
Okay.
But back then Thriller was like the thing. But then when we did Ghost, and then I watched it, I was like, this is enough. Because the way he incorporated dance with everything, it was just dance, 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 and it was done right. And you got to see the different players in it. It was just cool. That for me, Michael Jackson's Ghost was like the best video ever.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, it's so I feel like there's not as many cool music videos now with dance as there used to be.
And like I guess Chris Brown sometimes he has some cool dance videos that I see.
Yeah, there's a few that
Actually,
started.
he's another artist that I think, yeah, I could dance to Chris Brown.
Yeah.
I
Um,
like,
if you have, what's your favorite after show food to eat? Like when you're done a big show or a big performance, do you have like a go-to food?
um, it's funny, Jack in the Box.
That's great. What do you get at Jack in the Box?
Uh, yeah, what don't I get? The ultimate bacon cheeseburger. Uh, just anything with bacon in it, and it's like a double or triple burger. That's I'm in.
I
I'm in.
love it. I love how many people eat junk food after shows. It's really
Yeah,
interesting.
because we just burnt off all those calories. Now it's time to get some more calories.
Yeah, and you deserve it. What is the most difficult dance trick you've ever had to learn from any time in your life?
Ooh, a dance trick.
For like a show or something like that. Like I've had people say things like ballet, they had to do a ballet step and they're not a ballet person, or just like a weird.
um, Maybe I guess I want to say tap.
I
You're a
love it.
tapper. Funny story. I was on tour down Ross, and there was a tap number, and there was like 7 dancers that had to do it, and I was a swing, so I had to learn how to soft shoe tap, but which I mean I wasn't a tapper, so I had to like learn it. But I mean I had to. It wasn't that hard to learn, but I had to do it like right away for a show. So I had to sit there and flap, step, shuffle.
I love it.
It was the first couple of times I was a mess.
And for those of the people listening who don't know what a swing is, how would you describe a swing dancer?
Like if they can't do that or they're off that night, I'm the secondary.
Yep, that's like a sub or somebody who's coming in. It doesn't mean swing dancing, just in case somebody's
Yeah.
listening out the world. Like, wait, he was a swing dancer with tap shoes on? That sounds petrifying. That'd be great. And then last random question. If you had to have any job in the world outside of dance or the entertainment business, what would be your other job if you had to do it?
Chef.
A chef?
Another, yeah, I wanted to go to culinary school, like maybe 15 years ago. But then I guess kept the whole dance thing. I was going on tour, so it was still lucrative at the time.
And you
But
eat Jack
yeah,
in the Box?
yeah, Jack in the Box.
But what do you cook well still?
I cook every day. Cook every day.
Oh,
Now I'm on a health kick now, so I'm trying to be healthy because I'm getting older, and
and COVID, like I think it really reminded people that you need to pay
that.
attention to your body.
Yes, because you have more. Plus, you have more time at home. I'm home all the time. I don't try to go anywhere where there's a bunch of people. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so I cook every day. Like after this, I'm about to cook some breakfast, some brunch, I guess.
Nice, nice. So how do you like if there was a kid out there who wanted to become a dancer, but it's not in Los Angeles right now, what would you say is like the best way to learn or how to grow as a dancer?
I would say do your homework, like research. Do your research first, like find out what studios are hot. Um, Learn the dances on YouTube, like see what's going on in YouTube. That's what I look. There's so many like different choreographers on YouTube. You could see what's relevant and what's not, what works and what doesn't. Um, and then after you get all that information, then try to make your way to LA and find a place to stay and start taking classes. Because you never know, you might be at the right place at the right time where that choreographer or the teacher go, hey, you want to do this? Or hey, you want to assist me on this job? And then get your agent. People always say yeah, they want to get an agent when they get here, but no, you should get here first, train, take your notes, and then get an agent. Some people just think, oh, I'm going here to get an agent, but that's not the
Then
case.
you burn it with that casting director. So let's say you jump in and you've never learned this style of dance before, and then that casting person's not going to call you back. You burn your name with that one person. Like it's better to come in ready to go
Or,
than to
yeah,
learn along the way.
exactly.
I definitely
Exactly.
I definitely agree with that. What how do you create your cuz like I'm always fascinated with people who teach at like places like the Edge or the Playground or Millennium, like places like that where they have to do new choreography every week versus like a studio teacher that's doing almost the same piece for part of the year for their recital basically.
Right.
You have to come up with new ideas all the time. How do you generate that information? I mean, it's been so many years of new choreography. Do
Yeah, I know.
you
It
ever
just
get
gets
burnt
all
out?
um that's why I have assistants. I always try to get someone that's younger, that has their ear to the ground as far as what's relevant. And I bring them in and then we create something that's like still my style, but they like add little like like this or whatever dance that's out at the time.
He's doing the Millie Rock for those of you who are just listening.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
but that's so like what 2 years ago?
okay. I just think crazy how fast moves are changing now too. It's like
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
keep up. And
It's
then I love
vocabulary.
yeah, and the vocabulary changes like if you say like a dance step that I think it was like the shoot or the hype, right? Like that dance step, if you call it the shoot and people are like, no, it's the hype because it depends on if they learned it on Fortnite or if they learned it through a dance
Yeah,
teacher, you know? And it's a really interesting thing. I do like how many people are getting into dance right now because of Fortnite and because
yeah,
of TikTok or whatever.
right.
I think more people are getting involved in dance, but I don't necessarily think it's going to lead to a career, right? Like, how do you feel about like there are a lot of people out there who think that they need to have millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram to make it as a dancer? Do you think that's true or
Um, yeah, I was always let's say the whole trendy dance thing, it's cool for the minute or two, but in the long run, that's not going to get you anywhere. I feel like you should learn your craft, learn the styles of dance that you want to get into, train, and then go into that professional type, whatever type of dance you're trying to get into. Because I feel like if you're just trying to be a trendy dancer and get the all the followers and stuff, it's not going to really help. I mean,
yeah, you might make money right now, but 10 years from now you will hopefully have saved it because that's all you're getting because it's
yeah,
going to constantly change.
yeah, it's about the art, I guess, not about what's hot. Oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do the flies.
He's doing the
It's about
flopping
the
heels.
art, the passion, I guess. Yeah, but it's about the art and passion of the dance.
Yeah. What is that like? Do you have any weird travel stories from like touring, or some weird like crazy things that have happened to you on stage that you were not expecting to happen to you, like malfunctions or like pyrotechnics that like hit you, or I don't know. Hopefully
It's-
that
I
never
have I have so many stories.
happened. What's one of the ones that comes to your mind right now that you're comfortable with sharing?
Okay, here's one. I was on tour with Sisqo. When they did Thong Song back in
Wait, the
2000.
thong, that thong, da dong, dong, da.
Yeah, I choreographed, me and my group choreographed Thong Song, or the
You
whole
did?
tour. Yeah,
That's amazing. Awesome. I love that.
yeah. And while we're on tour, we went to London and we're performing at this park. It was a park and just a sea of people. And I remember like Destiny's Child was performing and some other groups, and Cisco was performing. So at the time it was raining and it was outside. I'm saying when it was raining, downpour just on stage.
Oh, on the
So
stage you're dancing on. Oh my gosh, and they didn't cancel the concert or anything.
no, because there was hundreds of thousands of people out there. So, you know, I guess in the beginning it wasn't raining, but then it just came in and it just started raining and we all looked at each other up. I guess we gotta go with it. And the floor, uses the stage as marley. So imagine marley, it's like a slick type of,
Yeah.
imagine that with water on it. So coming out in the first song, the intro, we all had to do like this dragon thing. And we came out there, slip, one person falls, gets up, the other person falls, slip. So we just look like a bunch of fallen dancers back up trying to do the routine in the rain. After a while, it was just comedy. We were just having fun out there in the rain, getting wet.
I would have
And the
loved to have
audience,
seen
the
that.
audience didn't really care. They were just
I would have been like, yeah, they're still going. Like I would have definitely been like, so good.
thank you for my fall.
I always think it's interesting how people want to be famous dancers, because there are definitely famous dancers, but then when you become your first backup dancer, you have no idea how much people go to a concert to look past you, because they're not like there for the dancer, they're there to see the famous singer, and the dancers are there to like kind of almost be like the light or the setting, like to make it bigger and a better
Part of
show.
the background. Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't there to watch. Some people are, but most people are not there to watch the dancers. And it's fun to watch people's egos get like, oh wait, why is everyone trying to duck past me to like see whoever? It's because they want to see the famous person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so fun. And you used to dance for Aaliyah too, right before her.
Yeah, I wasn't on tour with Aaliyah. I did 4 Page Letter, and I was the guy in the cage with the mask on, no shirt.
Do you
Um,
always end up having your shirt off? Is that like a thing?
Back in the day, yeah, I was that guy. Like just pretty much every job that I had. Okay, have a guy. You're the one. Yeah, no shirt for him, or we give him a see-through shirt, or so. Yeah, I was that guy because I had a trainer at the time, just because I wanted to get better.
Well, and obviously, if you're the no shirt guy, you feel like you have to have the most abs guy. Like I would assume you
Yeah, yeah,
have to
yeah,
keep the body type up.
yeah, yeah. Yes. Being a dancer, also you always have to train. You have to look good, not just dance good. You also have to look good. That's how you get. That's how you get casted for the role.
Right. Yeah, because you never know when you're going to be in some tiny little piece of something, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "Wait, what? You want me to move around in this? That's crazy." Uh, cool. What are have you ever been starstruck when you got the job for somebody? Like was there somebody famous that you were dancing for that you were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm standing in front of blank."
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I would guess that one for sure.
I was like, it's Michael Jackson. Oh my god! But I had to keep it in, reel it in. He comes in the room and hey, like it's Michael Jackson. And then when he like rehearses his dance, we're just like,
Oh, you got to be in the room while he was rehearsing his choreography? Or like however did he do his
yeah.
choreography, or was there a choreographer for the most
There
part?
was choreographers, yeah, Lavelle and Travis Payne.
Very cool. And so like when he was rehearsing with them, you guys got to be in the room?
Yeah, well, actually, he comes in after we do our rehearsal, and then they had to do it for set up for camera. So he comes in, and they're like, "All right, this is where You
So
have
this
to
is like
dance with
tech
it.
rehearsal on stage. You guys have already
Yes.
learned your dance. Got it.
So then we're like the background, just watching him, like acting it out. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's doing the moonwalk. Oh, that's Michael Jackson.
That's amazing. I think I would lose my mind too. I'd probably pee my pants.
It
Like,
was a couple times now.
when you, I guess this is a good question for people who don't realize. So let's say you're doing like the VMAs or like an Emmys or like a show like that. How much time do you have to learn the choreography for whoever you're dancing for as a backup dancer?
Um,
It's not months, and I think some people think that there's
three
so
days.
much time.
I think it's like 3 days, 3 or 4
Typically,
days.
yeah, so you learn it for like 3 or 4 days, and then you get to the show, you do a tech rehearsal, which
Tech
is
rehearsal.
not about you, it's purely about, making sure that nothing is going to hit you set-wise, and then the singer comes in then to sometimes the singer does come into the rehearsals, but typically it's just once
Yeah.
you get to
It's,
stage, and then
yes. Yes.
they fire everybody is what I say out that day. That's the day everyone gets fired, from my experiences. Like, if you mess up on stage, then that's when
Oh
you're
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. So like, uh,
yeah.
Havoc, can I see you in the back real quick?
Because it's not like, I think that kids nowadays, they're so used to doing a TikTok or a YouTube, and they have so many chances to like make that shot look great, that they don't always understand that once you get to like a live performance show, if you're in tech rehearsal and you mess up, you're gone. And it's
Yeah.
not meant to be stressful. It's just that they can't trust that you're gonna
Yeah.
crush it the day of the show.
Or you'll be put in the back.
Yeah. First time, I always say the first time you mess
Oscars.
up, you get put in the back, and the second time you mess up, you get fired.
Oh yeah, you'll get talked to. I'm like, yeah, man, what's going on? You better go over the steps, something, or you're gonna be out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
What's that?
when did you bridge from like being a backup? You've danced for so many amazing people. When did you bridge from that to like being a choreographer?
Um,
Or do you've always done both? Because I know some people only want to be a choreographer. Some people like to only be a dancer. Some people like to do both.
I like to do both. I guess when I was doing Cisco, we choreographed that whole tour, but we also danced in it, so we made double the money.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
made
I didn't
that.
know that. So also for people who are choreographers and dancers, you get paid as a choreographer and a dancer then?
Yeah, back then we did. I don't know about now.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, the unions and all of that have changed for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
a lot of things changed.
Yeah, pricing has changed a lot, I think, for dancers too. I don't think dancers get paid as much as they used to in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, because back then there was only a handful of us,
Mhm.
but now it's like everybody wants to be a dancer.
It was very unionized too back then. I don't think maybe there was an official union, but I do know that it was like after so many hours, it was kind of close to the SAG rules where like after so
Yeah,
many.
like after
Mhm. Yeah.
after was by itself and SAG was by itself. We used to do. I was after.
Mhm.
And then after a while, you do like bigger jobs and the pay gets commercial. That's how I became SAG. I did a couple commercials and that became SAG.
And so for if someone wants to just be a commercial dancer, what do you think the difference is for that versus like a backup dancer? Do you think it's just having a trick that you can do in an audition room, like a standing tuck or whatever, or
Yeah, like just being a good freestyler, I think, because then you could do you and then also break out of it and then do something else.
how do you work on being a good freestyler? Like if you like how do you so let's say I freestyle in my house all the time or my room and no one's ever seeing it. So I don't know if it's ever good. Like how do you figure out if your freestyle is good? It may feel good, but from like a I want to book a job standpoint, how do you figure that out?
Um, I just do me, and if they like it, cool. If not, then you know. But that goes again. Like I do my research. I always do my research to see what's hot, what's not, what's relevant, what's not relevant, what type of style, what's the musicality, how they're hitting it. So I go off that.
Yeah, so you're basically saying like look into the brand that you're auditioning for. Like if you're auditioning for a Doritos commercial, see what kind of dancers they've used in the past.
Mhm.
If you're looking into dancing for a famous person, let's say I don't know, Justin Bieber, look into like what kind of dancers he
Yeah,
has, so that you know what kind of choreography you're gonna
yeah,
do.
exactly. Yeah, because nowadays everyone has their phone. They could just, oh, okay. Back then we didn't have that. We just had to see what happens.
Yeah, I remember my first, and I did not get this audition. One of my very first auditions was for Madonna, Like a Virgin tour. And one of the things they told us to do was to dance like Liquid. It was like the third round. I'd made it past the first two, and they were asking us to dance like Liquid. And I was 18, straight out of high school. And my sister was with me, and I just looked at her. I was like, "What does that mean? Like, what is it?" Because there were some,
Liquid.
yeah, there were some people in the room that were doing like standing, like showing all of their tricks, and I was just like doing like waves, like what I would think water falling would look like. And I mean, like, I felt like I did good, but I just remember the first time being like, oh, there are some people who teach dancing and give you a freestyle word, and you have to like just figure out what that means to you
Right.
know? And then it's always interesting, I think, because in the auditions process for famous people, you're hearing a song that's not out yet, usually, because
Mm,
that's what they're prepping for. So
right.
you've never heard the beats to this song. So I think like really listening the first time it's playing is important to book the job
Yeah.
as well.
Feeling it out in your head and like getting the groove. Because some people just wants to go right away and they'll be offbeat. But the best thing to, as far as freestyle listening, just listen to the music. You could even do the step, and then you get into it a little bit. And then you build. Then you go into for it.
And I think that's the same thing for when you take people's classes, right? Like if a teacher's teaching with counts of 8 or anything like that, you want to listen for like where the high hit, like where the different instruments are, because there's usually,
Snare,
yeah.
uh, the downbeat on the one.
And are they doing choreography to the words or to the beat? Because it's
Yeah.
also different as well. And a lot of times choreographers do both,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you do that a lot where you go to the beat, but then you'll switch it to the words and then you'll go
Yeah.
back to the beat.
Yeah, it's funny because back then when I started dancing, it was all to just the beat. We were just dancing to the beat, to the beat. Now, as I guess dance evolved, I guess, they were doing a lot more to the words, which was a lot of little tick, 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 tick. I always called it tick, tick, tick.
Fast hand things that are
Like just doing fast movements, boom, boom, en, you know, instead of just the groove. There's a groove, and then there's also the fast counts, fast counts, fast counts. So now I try to learn how to do both because then it gives it like a balance of fast counts and then grooves, fast counts and then grooves.
do you think that like generationally newer kids are having a hard time with grooves, like just a groove class versus like they can pick up all the arm movements and memorize it, but they can't just like chill into a song and sit slowly
Yeah,
with it?
yeah. Like yeah, teaching in the past couple of years, yeah, they're missing the groove. A lot of them don't know how to groove. They always want to do the fast counts,
Is
fast
there a
counts.
way that a studio, like let's say a studio in Ohio, wanted to teach their kids how to groove? Like, how would you tell a teacher to approach that?
I guess listen to the slow counts
Mhm.
instead of listening to there's down counts and there's like faster counts. I always try to listen to the downbeat counts because that's the groove in my head.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's just when you start getting to the words, that's when it gets a lot of fast counts because certain people have interpret dance differently as far as like the words.
Yeah, that's what's artistic about it. Yeah, that's what makes it an art form is that.
I think when they started incorporating jazz with hip hop, the two kind of like merged into like lyrics and then the beat, lyrics and then the beat.
So do you think that like new hip hop dancers, like people who want to be street hip hop dancers but still dance for famous people, need to still be flexible or like have like like be able to do a pirouette or a great kick or batma, however you want to call it? Do you think that they need to be able to do that, hip hop artists now?
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna be a dancer, I mean, you just be a dancer. You have to. I feel like you should know just about like all the different dances, like jazz to ballet to hip hop to whatever, like swing. I don't say swing dance, but like partnering, tap. You should kind of know a little bit about each of the styles because that just makes you a better dancer. You
Yeah,
know,
just definitely be well-rounded. Even though you may never want to be a ballerina, knowing ballet is not going to hurt your hip hop. It's not going to make you less.
foundation. know your foundations, because there's foundation in every style, like hip hop. You got the foundation, you got ballet. You have to go back to doing technique and stuff.
Is there like so you're teaching, we're still kind of in lockdown in California. We're supposed to be slowly getting out. Are you going to be teaching at the Edge when it opens up again?
Um, I hope so. I
Yeah,
mean,
we don't know yet. Okay, that's very fair.
yeah.
Because I don't know what their situation is yet either. But are you teaching, you're teaching online then right now? Like if I wanted to take your class and I'm listening, how do I take a Havic's class?
Um, I teach Zoom classes right now. Actually, I have a class in about an hour after this. Tuesdays, Thursdays, I teach at 1 o'clock.
Los Angeles time.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
how
and
would
then
someone find you?
tomorrow I'm doing like an in-person class at the beach. I
Let's
got
go. What is that? I love that. So like well, let's start with the Zoom thing just so that it's clear for everybody. So Tuesdays and Thursdays you teach at what 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Los Angeles time.
Yeah, LA time.
And
Yes.
how does somebody find out about those classes? On your Instagram, your website?
Um, my Instagram.
There's a link or
I
something?
haven't. What I've been doing is just getting the students that follow me that I know that really still want to take class. So I just get them. I haven't really advertised it yet that way.
Cool. So like if I'm listening right now and I want to take your class, just message you on Instagram that you're interested in getting the link.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm also working on my website, so it should be out probably by summer.
Cool. Very cool. Are you going to have old videos of you dancing? Oh my gosh, I would love that.
I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna have like a little. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that still.
I
Just
would.
flashes of it.
Oh, that's so fun. Some VHS evidence of everything.
Yeah.
I love it. And then this beach thing. What is this beach? I've never heard of dance at the beach. This sounds amazing.
um. Well, I've been doing a private for the past couple months at the beach, like a Wednesday at 9 o'clock, with just one person. And then I've noticed like there's other people out there doing Zumba or they're doing yoga, and you don't really need a permit. The cops don't really say anything. They're just out there doing their thing, but they're, socially
Well,
distanced.
and they
Mask.
understand that this is Los Angeles right now. Like where it's not illegal to learn something on a public property because it's all you're allowed, and outside is safer anyways.
Exactly. And I dance not on actually beach itself, but on at the parking lot,
Okay.
the cars park. But we look at the beach, so there's like the waves and stuff in front of us. But people line up behind me. And I just teach them to dance, and we're just dancing out on the beach.
And it's just like a boombox or
Yeah, I have a little my little
bass player.
speaker that I bring with me.
I love that. That's so cool. What beach is that at?
Santa Monica. It's right by Santa Monica Pier.
Oh, cool. At 9 a.m.
Yeah, well, tomorrow will be 10 a.m.
Okay, so 10 again, if you want to take that class live, just message Havoc on his
Yeah,
Instagram.
check me out on my Instagram.
And I'm gonna look up your Instagram right now just so that I can say it properly. Is there any stories that you haven't told us that you like really want to? Inspirational stories or just like crazy stories?
These are stories.
Either way, his Instagram is JOHNHAVIC, John Havic. That is who we're sitting down with. Pretty easy to find. And then just message him if you have any questions about any of his classes. Yeah, but like, do you have it? Because you've danced literally for like, I can't even count it on my fingers. You danced for so many famous people. What would you say is like the reason that you keep booking again and again and again? Like, if because somebody gets their one opportunity because they're talented or somebody saw something, but then how do you get that next job and that next job and that next job, consistently working as a dancer?
Um, Fine tuning your craft. Working on this.
He's
Still
pointing at
working
his
out
face and his physicality, everybody.
everything. Yeah, because still about looks. If you're looking kind of a certain way, then they're not gonna hire you.
Don't look busted, is what he said. Brush your hair,
I like to
brush your teeth, wash your hands.
I like to stay well groomed, I guess. I like to keep everything looking a certain way, working out,
Would you
eating
say try to
right.
stay the same look as whatever got you booked? Like let's say I dyed my hair purple and that got me my first job. Keep it be the purple hair girl, or do you think that you can change up your look?
You can change up your look, like reinvent yourself. That's what I'm going through now, kind of reinvent myself. That's why I haven't been on Instagram or any social media because I kind of took a break after this whole pandemic happened.
Yeah, I think it really evaluate, especially as a dancer. Like I haven't taken a class in almost a year, I want to say, because it's just been such a whirlwind. And I know that the second I get back into taking classes, one, I'm going to be exhausted in 5 seconds. Like the ability for stamina is probably gone. But then I think my passion and my facials will be at like 110% because
Uh,
I'll be so excited to be there that it'll probably be like over the top facials, but it'll be real and truthful, but it'll be like just I think it'll give more passion to dancers.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any last advice for anybody who wants to be a dancer and make it into the entertainment business? Any random pieces of advice for them?
Um, Again, do your research, take classes, take like jazz, ballet, just take all the foundation stuff because that helps a lot with all the new age hip hop and new age jazz and stuff. Um, and just practice. That's all I got to say. Just practice. Because when I started out, all I did was in front of the mirror every day with my little boombox, dancing, practicing my steps, honing my craft, and that's how I got better. That's how I started booking things.
Yeah, I think there's a quote on one of my pages that I did not write, but it is somewhere someone is practicing, and when you meet them, they will beat you. And that's like my MO of life of like, if you want to do something, someone else is working harder at it than you
Yeah.
are right now,
So
no matter
always
how
be
hard you
ready.
think.
Always be ready. That's what I have to say. Always be ready.
That's good. Also, good advice. Like, if you get a call, like to be there tomorrow, be ready to perform. And
Yeah, it's funny you said it because when I was auditioning, I always had to get a haircut twice a week just because I always got called for auditions and you don't want to be caught like, oh, damn, I have to go in an hour. You know, it's one of those, I had a lot of those things too. So that's why that taught me to be always ready, always ready. Because you don't know what's going to happen like tomorrow or next week or a month from now.
yeah, thanks so much for being here. Very, very informative for everybody listening. Again, you can catch John Havic on his Instagram. I almost called it Instant Shame because that's what I usually call it on his Instagram. You can find out all of his classes, and then he'll have a website up, which I'm sure that link will be on his Instagram as well. John, thank you so much for coming. I really, really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
it.
I
I'm
appreciate you.
so helpful. Thank you.
Hopefully I'll see you in class.
Oh, you will. I'm excited for the beach thing. I'm definitely joining you.
I'll send you a link to that if you want to come check it out.
Please, please do. Please, please do. And again, everybody, this is John.
See you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you.